Good morning, happy Friday. It's Tim in the woods, or Woodland Tim, or whichever way round you'd like to put it, and it's a beautiful morning. It's been a very, very intense week, very intense. Probably one of, if I'm honest, one of the physically the most intense weeks that I've ever encountered on record, energy-wise. Now, on Monday, probably remember, if you're following my talks regularly, you could remember me talking about this new light platform that we're working on. And as the days have kind of rolled on over the course of the week, it's become steadily more apparent just how intense this new light overlay is. Now, we've had all of these new sources coming in, all of these kind of upgrades in ourselves, all of this very, very intensive kind of shift. The shift catalysts kind of being almost beamed directly into our four body systems, our chakras and everything. But this came in at such a level, and it was over the Easter weekend, funnily enough. It was about, I became aware of it, and I'm sure all of you did as well. We are going to be, and probably are still at this moment as you're listening to this, experiencing physical symptoms. Okay, I've seen other people posting about it, and by physical I don't mean just the kind of normal, I'm feeling a bit dreary, I'm feeling a little bit kind of bogged down. I mean, I'm talking like headaches, neck aches, back aches, kind of skin sensations. And when this occurs, when we get this very new, it's almost like when you update a computer, when you update the operating system on a computer, you punch the program in and the computer upgrades. It's like, say it's like going from iOS 10 on an iPhone straight up to iOS 14, providing the unit, providing your phone can cope with that upgrade. There's no issue with it. All of a sudden you've got a phone that's operating at a much with a much bigger program. You can do different things with it. You've got different gifts, you've got different messaging service, etc., etc. But we are human beings, and it's still in physical form at the moment, or masters in human form. And from what I can gather, from what I can feel, from my own personal experiences, that we've just had our operating system dialed up very significantly. So why has this occurred, and what we are doing with it? And funnily enough, it coincided very much, and this comes with a don't try this at home kids warning, because I think it was last week, I'm, as you probably know, I'm always pushing. For me personally, it's within my personality. I'm always kind of like looking for the next, the higher light upgrades, the bigger light quotient, the greater connections, because that's just in my nature. It's what I do. I seek out what is going on around us, experience it, and then report back. And a lot of the time, that's ahead of the game, so that I can provide a working platform with how to navigate it. And so this coincides, bear with me. What I did is I spoke to Archangel Metatron, and now I've been steadily raising my light quotient above 100% for quite a considerable period of time now. But I was feeling good one morning, like, hey, yeah, I go get to it. And I casually dropped into conversation, Archangel Metatron, do you think it would be possible to raise my light quotient so that it vibrates between 150% and 200? Now, I know this is all numbers, but in actual fact, all I'm doing is saying, like, can you put another quarter on top of what's there already? And it's almost like you could almost hear him, like, how sometimes tradesmen will kind of suck air through their teeth when they're just about to give you a really horrible bill. It was a little bit like that. There's a bit of silence. And he went, well, yeah, if you're sure, kind of thing. And because I was busy at the time, I agreed to it, went over the top of my head, and the next thing I know, I'm completely poleaxed. And this kind of coincidentally, or not coincidentally, synchronistically coincided with this huge download of light that we received over the Easter weekend. So I have been feeling really physically challenged myself, and you know, okay, I challenge myself because I give myself these things to do, but this was a step beyond it. It was almost like I had to completely step back, utterly stop everything that I was normally engaging with, because it simply wasn't working the way that it was previously, and just gently and very slowly re-engage with this new operating system. Now, whether this has just happened to me because I've called it in, or whether it is actually a collective situation, remains to be seen, but I have a feeling that it is a collective. Okay, so all of you in harmony with this new light will now be being pushed through a gateway that is probably a little bit above your, well, you know, maybe well above your comfort zones. This can manifest physically, it can manifest emotionally, mentally, or all of them simultaneously. Because what it does is anything that was previously comfortable, anything that was settled, anything that would become, or not humdrum, but you know, a fluid way of doing things, all of a sudden we are presented with a platform that we have to relearn to use at a higher level. But once we've done that, it then serves us at a much higher frequency. So it's like taking big steps up each time. This is where I believe we are at the moment. All of a sudden we've got this new working platform, but how do we engage with it? Okay, now I was told very clearly to just cease, listen to the bird song, listen to what my heart was saying, listen to the vibration of the planet, and re-engage this higher platform with love. Okay, now one thing that I'm seeing a lot of at the moment is, due to this very high light coming and this intense upgrade, a lot of people are being triggered. It's creating an emotional explosion. It's creating states where mentally people are not comfortable, and this isn't just on a spiritual level, this is in all of society. So they're reaching out, they're lashing out, and this is kind of, it's almost like the Matrix, the old 3D Matrix that we were once plugged into, kind of reaching out to defend itself. I think we're all in a state where we are really quite far down the road with the part of where we have unplugged. Okay, we've unplugged from the 3D matrix. We can see exactly what it is, what it's doing now. Every time light comes in at this level, we can see everything that is out of alignment so very clearly. It's almost like I've been asking myself the question over and over again, how did I not see that previously? How was that not visible? And it's simply because we were vibrating at a level where it wasn't so obvious. If you think, and I used this analogy the last time, when the sun reaches noon and it shines downwards, it's just pure daylight. You know, everything is absorbed with this daylight. There is, you know, like the shadows get absorbed into you. Everything is just completely lit up, and I'm feeling that is where we are now. And every single day that passes, the light gets notched up and notched up and notched up a little bit more. This is triggering our survival instincts, because now we are beginning to see a very clear indication of what we have to do on a light worker community level and an individual level to unplug from the system and actually take decisive action as to where we are going to be going within the future. There's a very interesting indication of this last night. I did the Zoom on kind of upgrading the financial systems with Carolyn Bennett last night, and there was a very mixed reaction to the information on there. And some people feel that where we are going with the kind of the electronic side of it, and the say for example the cryptocurrency, that it's all kind of under dark control. And what I know, a lot of us out there at the moment are looking for a quick fix or a quick response or answer to the solutions being presented, but there is no quick fix at the moment. What we are doing is we are rebuilding at a higher level, and it's a good indication of where people are actually on the kind of like the triggered survival level as to how we are responding to the things that are presented to us around us at the moment. The way I see the future is, particularly over the next couple of months or so, we are going to be really asked to stand in our own sovereignty, in our own power, and start making mental preparations for how we actually continue to survive as a growing, thriving light community when we aren't plugged into that matrix. It's a very interesting place to be at this present moment in time, because in order to unplug from this very oppressive 3D reality that we've willingly moved away from, we then have to say, well, we are no longer dependent on that system, okay? And that then provides us with a complete cornucopia of questions like, how do I do this? How do I do that? If that's not provided for me, what do I do with it? And so this is the rumblings. This is the beginnings of our new society, because we are ingenious creatures. We are masters in human form. We've done this so many times on this planet, on other planets, in other star systems, in other dimensions. I think if you look back through your soul records and where you've come from, you probably all had a very strong hand in the ascension of other planets before you came down to this one. This one is just particularly unique because we're doing it in a very, very short space of time, instead of over hundreds of years. I mean, normally the process that we're going through at the moment would be longer, it would be drawn out, it would be a gradual process. Other planets and systems and civilizations in different dimensions that have stepped above the benchmark of polarity have always taken much longer to do it. We're doing it in a space of 18 years because it's an experiment. We've agreed to do that. So everything is rushed, everything is being kind of cracked out to this very kind of finely tuned plan. If any of you are feeling at the moment that it's chaos out there and that things are happening beyond our control, if you're feeling like, you know, there's no method within the madness, now is the time to completely step back and take some heart-centered space for yourself. This is what I'm doing as well. It's just in between. It's sometimes as light workers doing the job that we're doing, earth workers, warriors, whatever you want to call yourself, there comes a point where we occasionally have to just sit back and take a bit of time off duty. Okay. Yeah, and I know that's very difficult to do once you're tuned into the momentum of this. We've got a very effective tag team going at the moment. If one or two of us or a group of us step back because we need a breather, others step forwards and take the place. There's a very effective working system in place, and it's all harmonious, it's all fluid, and it's all natural. So my Friday message to you today would be, give yourself some real quality time over the course of this weekend, whenever you've got the opportunity to do so, to investigate and to integrate with this new light system, this new matrix that we have around us. Because I know I covered it previously, but you know, like these things take some getting used to. It's not just a case of it comes in one night and we wake up the next morning, it's like, oh, that's nice, isn't it? You know, we're all used to it. This one is a real step up. And so with me, I've hand on, you know, I'll always be the first to admit I got clobbered. So because I said, right, give me everything that's coming in at the highest level, I'll assimilate it and everything. And I really did have to look after myself. It's given me the opportunity to do things. I've given up caffeine and I've given up sugar, which I'm very proud of myself about, because those are the two things that I kind of like, because I'm always on the go kind of thing. I'd be reaching out. I'd grab the thing that gave my body instant energy, and all of a sudden, because I've integrated this light at a higher level, my body's rejecting it. And it's not just a small rejection. It was like, thou shalt not put that in your body anymore. So and this is an indication that we've taken in a load more. So you might be feeling and finding this at the moment. If this message is resonating with you, if all of a sudden you're having to make adjustments and you're having to make changes, or the people around you are shifting how they are responding to you, then this is an actual fact. It's a good sign. It means that you've stepped up into this energy, but the reality around you has to readjust to your vibration. Now that's a very important point that I'm going to make as we're kind of concluding this morning, is that when you step through the gateways that we have just done, everything around you has to shift and alter, and this can be quite, it can feel and sense quite, it can be quite disruptive, because it's not necessarily, it's not a pre-given that the people around you will respond nicely to this new vibration. Sometimes people that are struggling with their own stuff, they've got their own stuff, they will attack what appears to be a light source because it is no longer resonating with their vibration and their fields. So just take everything very gently, very slowly with yourself. One thing that I think, and I know is very, very important, is engage your reality with love. Okay, if it's coming from a point of anger, assimilate it, alchemize it, and don't release it until it is of a love vibration. What you put out will come back to you. It will come back to you very, very quickly. If you engage your reality with love, with peace, with heart-centered kindness, that is immediately how your reality will reform to respond to you. The faster our vibration moves around us, the higher this frequency, everything bounces back. As within, so without, as above, so below. Everything that we do and we engage with is immediately reflected. So if you've got stuff going on within you, if you've got turbulence, take the time out, do the work. Okay, now this is some of the things that you know, we seem like we are permanently working at the moment. We're permanently digging our shadow stuff out. We're constantly having to work on ourselves. Now more so than ever, we are being called to look within. What are the internal triggers? What is maybe prompting those survival mechanisms with us? What's rattling our cages? And then just engage with whatever that is with love. Watch it alchemize, watch it disintegrate, watch yourself and those around you move into the higher frequency. You are the light leaders, okay? You are the beacons that are bringing and anchoring this new reality in. So if you are an anchor for this new light and you are feeling pushed at this moment in time, like I have been, then give yourself the time, the grace and the space to just lovingly integrate that energy. Because if I'm going to be blunt about it, if you attempt to engage with this reality with anything less, it will bounce back. It has a tendency, it's until we are operating on that vibration and on that platform, it's not synchronous, it will not operate smoothly. So the more fluid we are, the more relaxed we are, the more heart-centered we are, the less distracted we are by everything that's going on in that 3D matrix, the easier and the more in flow everything will be. And I know this sounds like a spiritual cliche. I know it's very, very difficult to do this when we're being kind of triggered and when we're being pushed all the time. But literally, if it's doing that, step back, breathe, just bring that loving energy back into alignment with yourself. And when you feel centered, step back out again. Okay, so I hope this information has been useful for you. I'm kind of getting used to it as we're going along as well. I mean, we had years and years on the Ascension pathway where we had the same platform to learn from, to deal with. And the difference is what we're going through at the moment is every single day something's different. It's all upgraded. We've got new energies to be presented with, but this is so remarkably different from what we had 2 weeks ago that it takes navigating, it takes that little bit extra time to just blend with, to learn about. So give yourself that time and space, okay? From the centre of my heart, sending you all loads and loads of love, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I will be back on Monday. Bye for now.